So this is the first session of our boxed pouch video. We're sewing this cute little pouch here with a zipper, and it has tabs and
Hey, Amy,
uh-huh.
just a reminder to pin yourself.
Yes. I'm spotlighted. Doesn't that count? Yeah, I'm pinned. So the box pouch has all finished edges with these covered seams. And we've already cut out all our pieces, 2 exterior, 1 lining piece, a 10-inch zipper, our tabs, and all our pieces for our covered seams. So the first step right now is we're going to take these 2 exterior pieces and you're going to put them right sides together. And you're going to sew a 1/2-inch seam allowance at the top here. This is the 11-inch side. So the 11-inch side, it doesn't matter either this side or that, the top or the bottom, pick one, unless your print's directional or something. I don't even think I'm going to pin it, maybe 1 pin. And go to the sewing machine. I'm going to start here, back stitch, 1/2-inch seam allowance. So just, you want to make sure that when you open it up, it needs to be 12 inches wide. So if you do a 1/2-inch seam allowance, it should be 12 inches wide. All right, that's the goal. Move my pin a little. Because our lining and our interfacing are 11 by 12. Yeah, so it should be 12 inches when it's opened up. So I'm going to go sew mine right now, and then I'm going to trim the seam allowance down to 1/4 and press the seams open. And then I'll show you the next step. So you want to have the seam side up because we're going to put our interfacing on. So I've already sewn my 1/2-inch seam allowance. I trimmed it and I pressed my seam open. So now I'm going to take my interfacing, and you have to make sure the glue is face down, because if you put your iron on the glue side, you're going to ruin your iron. So there are tricks to get the glue off, but it's best just not to even go there. So your interfacing, if you measured correctly and cut correctly, should fit. My interfacing is actually a little big. So I'm just going to trim mine off. Something got a little bit off. So mine's a little more than 11 inches wide. So I'm just going to trim that off. Okay. So now when I lay my lip interfacing, it's looking pretty good now. It doesn't have to be the perfect, it doesn't have to match, like see these little edges are off, that's okay. You just don't really want your interfacing hanging off the fabric, because then that glue is going to stick to your ironing board. So I'm just trimming that off. Anywhere where the glue side of the interfacing touches, it's going to stick a little bit. So it's looking good now. So now I can go to the iron, and I like to start in one corner. So I'll start here and I'll just slowly move my iron across, and I'll move it back and forth like this. If my hand was an iron, and I hold it, I count to 10, and I hold and count to 10, and then I kind of move and count to 10, count to 10, move, count to 10, move. And I don't really lift it off. You get a better, smoother if you just stay on and just slowly work your way up, because you don't want to get any bubbles. You don't want to get bubbles or anything like that. So I will switch the camera so that you guys can watch me iron. I think you guys can see me over here. Take you through. Does anyone have any questions so far? And when you're ironing on the interfacing, don't use the steam. It's best not to have any water in your iron. So you're not supposed to use steam when you're doing interfacing, when you're ironing one. If you do have water, just turn the steam off. And your iron should be, I have my iron's on cotton. I'm going to move it down to wool because you're supposed to have more of a medium setting for heat. Not on high heat, but more like medium high. And you can see when you move your iron. I know, I don't know if you've ever used interfacing, Linda. You can see when it sort of glues in. You can see it. The glue is melted into the fabric. So I think it's pretty good now. I'm just going to kind of let it cool off. And I'm done ironing my interfacing. And now I'm going to get my lining fabric. And if it's not pressed, you should iron it. And I'm going to turn my exterior fabric right side up. Turn it this way. So you want to have your exterior fabric facing this way. So my seam is down here. So not this way, but this way, facing towards you. And you're going to open up your zipper. And you're going to place your zipper face down. So this is the right side. You're going to face down would be with the zipper pulled upside down like that. And you're going to be pinning your zipper into position like this. But you have to lay your lining fabric right sides together down on top of it. So right side lining, right side exterior, zipper face down. So I'm sandwiching my lining and my exterior fabric. My zipper is sandwiched between the lining and the exterior fabric. And I'm going to pin. So double check, I've already checked mine, your seam allowance at the end of your tape. It should be about a 1/2 inch. And again, make sure your zipper is, it should, if it's 11 inches long, it should fit perfectly across the top here. And your lining should be matching up as well. So I'm just lining up the edges So I'm lining up the edge of the lining and the zipper tape and the fabric. Most of you, I know Carol and Raj, and I think even Shohig, maybe not Shohig, because you're a little bit on the newer side, have all done this before. Linda, I'm not sure how familiar you are with putting in zippers, but some of you have done this with me before. So we're pinning this first side of the zipper into place. I like to do it with my zipper open. The other side we're just leaving. We're not sewing that side yet. We're just sewing this side.
No, Amy, I've never done zippers before with you.
Okay, so
I've never done zippers at all.
you've never done a zipper, yeah. Okay, so this
No,
might be a
no.
little bit challenging for you. It's your first time.
Yeah, it's good to learn.
And if everything's measured correctly and you're pinning correctly, it should all match up. My lining's a little bit short here at the end, so I'm gonna actually repin. It's just gonna be messy if I don't fix it. I'm using this like super old vintage metal zipper that someone gave me. And the better you pin, the easier it'll be when you sew, and the cleaner your zipper will look. Because our zipper tape is going to show. So if you're just, while you're pinning, think I'm pinning to this zipper tape, and depending how well I pin and how well I sew, like I want it to be straight. You can see this side of my zipper tape's fatter than this side, so it was a little bit off when I sewed it. But no one really notices that stuff. I don't think, unless you're buying it in the store, you want it to be perfect. We're not selling these in a store. But yeah, that's something that's difficult when you're not sewing zippers all the time, to make that perfect. Okay, so I finished pinning. And so when I'm done sewing, it's going to open up like this. You can just check yourself. You can open it up and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Because then my zipper would be like this and my fabric's like this. So yeah. So now the next step is to go to your sewing machine. You will need your zipper foot. So whenever I list zipper on the materials, just to remember, I might forget to put zipper foot. So just know if there's a zipper, you're going to need a zipper foot. So I'm going to go to my sewing machine. I'm going to sew, put my needle in here, and I'm going to stitch right here along the teeth, but not too close, because I do want my teeth, my tape to show a little. Remember I was showing? So if you sew closer, you're going to get less tape. You sew further away, you're going to have more tape showing. So, and preferably you want the same distance on both sides. So I'm going to sew about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. And that's going to give me that distance from the teeth that I want. So 1/4 of an inch from the edge, all the way down and back stitch. When I get down here, I'm probably going to have to move my zipper a little. I'm going to have to push it up, right? And lift my presser foot, leave the needle in. Linda, do you need help with that? Have you ever sewn a zipper?
No, I never sewn a zipper. I'm looking up how a zipper foot looks like.
Oh, I'll show you. Yeah, I just asked. Let me get it for you. So I'm so used to my students. They already know how. So this is what your zipper foot looks like.
Don't- yeah.
So you should have a bunch of attachments and accessories. And you can even look in your manual because all the foots have a letter on them. This one's an I. You look in your manual and look under in the first or second page, it'll list all the different feet. And you can see which one is the zipper foot and what letter it has.
Okay.
Are you going to be able to find your zipper foot?
I have other foot, but none of them looks like that.
Do you have your manual with you?
This sewing machine is about 30 years old, so no.
Oh. Hmm. None of the feet look like this.
Let me see.
You want to show me what you have?
Yeah. So, oops,
Can
is
I
it
spotlight?
so-
you?
this? Yeah. So I have this
Not that one.
and this
No.
one,
No.
and then this one. I think this is a
Buttonhole.
button. Yeah, this is a button.
Oh, so you don't have a zipper foot.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It was probably there at one point. And it just
Yeah,
got-
I think so too.
That's funny. You have like that crazy weird like foot, but you don't have the zipper foot.
I have this. I don't know what this is.
I don't know what that. Oh, that's like the plate for your machine.
Okay.
Well, it's gonna be hard.
I could watch and I could try to use the regular one. Let's see. And see.
You might have a problem doing, let me remove the spotlight and put me back on. You might have a problem not using. It could be difficult. Like you could use your regular foot, just, I don't think you can do it, Linda. It's gonna be hard.
Okay.
Um,
Just go all the way down.
I'll try. Let me, I'm gonna go to my sewing machine right now and I'll try to sew it without the zipper foot. See what happens. So can you guys see my sewing machine right now?
Yes.
So Linda, out of those other 2 feet that you have,
Uh-huh.
show me them again. Not the buttonhole and not the crazy funky one. Show me the other.
This these two.
Try the one on your in your left hand.
This one?
Yeah.
That's the one that's like a sailor.
Yeah.
Pirate way.
So Carol, if you want to just go ahead and start sewing, you can.
I was gonna see if I can peek at what before you start sewing, like, I want to make sure I place my zipper correctly.
Yeah, Linda, you need to have a zipper.
No,
I'm sorry.
it's okay.
You can get away with an invisible zipper and not have a zipper foot.
Well, I could just pin it and then watch what you do and then follow up after.
Sew it by hand.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, because see, I'll show you the zipper foot, what it does. So I'm gonna take this foot off. So can you guys see fairly well?
Yeah, I think I could. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so this foot is like your standard foot. Let's do this. Where's my camera? There.
Yes.
So Now I'm gonna take my zipper foot. And the zipper foot has 2 channels, one on each side. There's, see these like 2 little bars here? There's a bar here, and you can either put it on this side on your presser foot or on the other side, depending on where the zipper lays. It
Oh,
allows the zipper teeth to lay. So this foot runs along the edge of the zipper teeth. And if you don't have this kind of foot, then there isn't a space for the zipper teeth, right?
okay.
So that's why you need that foot.
Can you open your top layer? I just kind of want to see I laid the zipper correctly.
What do you want to see?
If you can just open like the inside, yeah. So it's the top,
So these are right sides together, right side of your
right,
here, right, and then the zipper is face down.
and face down. Got it. Okay. And my zipper is a little long because remember my fabric is shorter, so I just let it hang out, right?
Yeah, you can let it just hang out.
Okay. And it's the ends first. The zipper, the pull is on the back at the end.
So what?
The pull, the zipper pull is at the end, right?
Yeah, I like
Okay.
sew it with it open at the end. So Linda, see how my foot is, it's right, the teeth are right here.
Mm-hmm.
And my foot is allowing,
It's only on one side.
exactly, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So if you don't have that special foot, then you can't sew over the zipper. It won't go over the zipper. So I'm just checking because I want to sew about, I want to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Your zipper tape has like, is like a 1/2 inch wide. So if you sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance, that should leave a 1/4 inch of that zipper tape showing. So my zipper foot is just working perfectly, sliding right over the teeth. And when I have beginners sew their zippers, I often have them baste the zipper in first because zippers can be tricky. The tape moves around and wiggles. So basting allows you to take the pins out. The sewing machine needs to be serviced. I'm just praying it doesn't like crash out on me while I'm teaching today. So here I'm at the end where my zipper pull is, and I traditionally, like, I lift my foot, I leave the needle in, and then I pull my zipper up. I think I could probably finish without pulling the zipper up, but I'm gonna see if I can. But this is normally at the end. So I have this super old metal zipper, so it doesn't glide very well. A little bit of a force, but see if I can make it work. And then you just sew off the end and back stitch. What kind of machine do you have, Linda? Left. Linda, what kind of machine do you have?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. It's a Kenmore?
A Kenmore?
Yeah. I think I found the zipper foot, but I'm just trying to put it on It's that wacky one that I'm gonna show you. You can see. I don't know if you can see it. It's the wacky one, and I think it.
Oh, I think you're right. I think it'll work.
And then this one, it goes from either side. Like it can move it from left or right.
Oh, you know what? It's probably just like a super old funky zipper
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah. Yes, I think I got it. I'm just trying to figure out where to place it.
Well,
now,
good,
so that-
good thing you're a tech person and you figured it. So did you have to actually unscrew the foot to get it on?
Yeah, like you just it clips on, so it slides left and right. So it just you could do it, I guess, left side or right side. to
Okay,
turn on. Yeah, and then just take off the other foot.
awesome. So, if you need help, Linda, sewing it or anything or getting started, since it's your first time, shout out to me. 'cause I'll
Okay.
stop and go back,
Okay.
and I can like put my camera up even closer and.
Actually, I had a question, like the foot, like it's supposed to catch the fabric so it stays, right?
Yeah,
I feel like is it supposed to be on the fabric side or the zipper side?
the foot should be on the fabric side, on the
Okay.
end of the fabric. Do you want me to go to my machine and show you?
Yeah, do you mind? I think,
Yeah,
I
here,
think I got it, but I'm not exactly, I feel like it's always too close to the zipper. Like maybe I should have allowed for more space. I don't know. Yeah, that's perfect.
So pretend this is fabric that's pinned here.
Okay,
And my foot pops down.
okay, got it. Okay,
So look, my needle goes down. My teeth are on the left side. Zipper teeth are on the left, and my needle is gonna sew just a quarter of an inch
Okay.
from the edge of the fabric.
okay, let me try.
And my foot is holding that quarter inch of the edge of the fabric down.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Let me try it now.
So Carol, if you're working with me, after you sew that, then you go to the ironing board and
I actually have another question about the zipper.
yeah,
because- Mainly because my zipper is a little long for the fabric I cut. So is it more important to line up where the zipper pull is or towards the end? Because I started pinning towards like the end part, but I realized my zipper pull is going to go right into the seam allowance.
okay. Oh,
If that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
oh, whoa. Your zipper
Okay,
is
so-
too long. Is your zipper longer than your fabric?
Yeah, by like about half an inch.
Oh, that's right, because your fabric's 10 3/4.
So when I'm lining up, when I first lined it up, I did the end, then I realized my pull is too far over to the edge.
Let me
So
put
Like-
you on. All right, because your fabric's a little bit short, right?
yeah, by about this much.
Oh boy, that is a lot.
So
So what I want you to do, Carol, let me see can I see the end that you're holding? How much is it falling off?
here, I'll show this way. About this much.
Okay, can you turn it the other way so I can see where the poles are? So what I think you should do is, can you hold the fabric not on the ends, but on the other side of the end so I can see the end better?
Like this?
Yeah, and put your fingers now on the other side, move your hand that way. Yeah. Okay, now can I see the end where the zipper stopper is, the hole? So I want you to trim like 1/4 of an inch off each end of the zipper tape. Use your pinking shears.
Yeah,
Did you do that yet?
not yet.
Yeah, do that.
But I was just wondering how I should line it because I know I probably shouldn't have the zipper pull right where I'm gonna sew the seam allowance, like the half, it's probably like a 1/2 inch seam allowance this way. I probably need to make sure the pull is further in, right?
Well, we're gonna have to adjust the seam allowance.
Mhm.
So,
But when I'm lining it up, should I be lining it up with more important with the pull or more important at this end?
it doesn't matter because when you're sewing the fabric, you can move the pole around. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be in the way. You just move it. You know what I'm saying? When you sew
Oh, I
that side,
see.
you're going to move the pole. So you
Okay,
still, what matters is that you have a stopper at the bottom and a stopper at the top. And those stoppers
okay,
are the same. So if you just trim 1/4 inch off the seam allowance on both ends, and then let's see if it fits on the fabric better.
okay. So I wouldn't worry about like this stopper here when I sew this, when I sew down this way. It
Yeah,
wouldn't,
you do need to worry about that. So you're going to adjust your seam allowance. You're not going to sew the same. You're going to sew a smaller seam allowance so that
a
you
small
don't,
to
so you
accommodate.
don't run over it.
Right, okay,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah. And then I even think there's another way you could just sew over it and over the stopper, and it wouldn't even matter because the stopper becomes ineffective because the fabric's there. So you know what I'm saying? Like if you look at this, like you don't even see the stopper anymore. You're just sewn over it, and the tabs here, it doesn't even really matter. What matters more is it, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not, don't worry about it too much. I would just trim. Some people, they don't even use the stopper. Some people, I've seen them sew these bags and they have the zipper hanging off the end like 2 inches. And then when you sew the seam allowance, they just sew right over the zipper tape, the zipper teeth. And then this is the stopper right here where you've sewn. So it's not that important. I can't hear you.
So on the pull side, I can't sew over that. Need to make sure it does need to be a little further in because otherwise I can't
And
sew all the way up. Right?
Honestly, it's the same on this side too. You know, you don't have to worry too much about it. You just need to worry about your needle hitting that metal because it'll break the needle.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Right? So
Yeah.
trim those 2 corners and then let's see if it's lined up. The 2 edges, trim your edges down and then let's see if it lines up.
Question?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, when we get to the end, where the head of the zipper is, like, do I just sew it all the way to the end?
You do, but so when
Okay.
you get to the end and your zipper pull, so this is the zipper pull,
Yeah,
this thing that you pull, this is the slider, the thing that slides. These are the teeth. This is the stopper and the tape. So when you get to the end here where your zipper is and you're sewing, so say I'm at the end and I'm stuck because my zipper's here, then you lift up your presser foot and you should be able, and you pull your zipper, you lift up the fabric and you pull the zipper out like this much.
okay,
And then you finish sewing.
okay. Thank you. Okay, done.
Yeah? Okay, let me light it so I can see. All right, cool. You did it. Good
Yeah.
job.
So the foot worked. Old style.
Yeah,
style
sorry.
foot.
I didn't know what that was.
No, I'm just like, I was all like, that has, I didn't, it took me a while to figure out how to put it on because I didn't know which way it goes because it would just look like two sticks. But
I thought it was like a buttonholer or a
the button, this is a button, right? This one is
yeah,
a
that's
button.
for the buttonhole, but then there's another foot that actually sews a button on. And
Oh, okay.
I was thinking it was like a button foot or a quilting foot or something. Can you hold it? You've got it attached on your sewing machine.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's see. Can you help? Can you see?
I want to see it again if you can.
Yeah, like,
Okay. Yeah. Oh
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Now it definitely looks like a zipper foot.
yeah,
It was hard to tell.
yeah, and then if it's you loosen it so you could go on either side, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
Well,
so cool. I love it.
yeah.
Love it. Nice. Yeah, it looks like a zipper foot. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh. So now Linda, what you do is you want to go to the ironing board. So
Okay.
I've already done it. So you want to press. It's hard to press the seam open. So you can, if you want, you can get in there and press it open. But I just went to the ironing board and I pressed the lining back because you don't want the lining to get caught in your zipper teeth. It's the most
Oh, okay.
frustrating thing in the world.
Oh, okay.
You really want to press this lining down, and the best thing to do is to get in here and press that little seam open and then fold it back, and you want to press again, and you want to press from the front too. You want to press this. And now my camera's acting on.
Okay.
You want to press this fabric down too.
Okay. So when you press it down, do you sew it again, like so that it stays down?
Yeah, that's the next step. So first
Okay.
you got to iron it. So just like this, like iron this little seam open.
Okay.
And then once you get it all ironed nice and flat, I'll show you how to top stitch.
Okay.
But the ironing is key. So there, I'm glad I pressed that open because it does make it easier to get the iron down on that lining. So now that I'm all pressed, I know Linda is in that step and Carol is sewing or pinning. So now the next step is top stitch. So I'm going to go to my sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch right on top of the exterior fabric, right on this folded edge here. So on your finished pouch, it looks like this top stitch right here on the edge, and it holds the lining and the fabric down. And I'm gonna continue to use my zipper foot. I just changed the channel that it was on, moved it to the other side so that I can get it over the zipper foot. And the key here is just sewing an even line. So the next step is to sew the other side of the zipper. But I think before I go on and do that, I need to check in with you guys to see if you have any questions.
I have question,
Yes.
please. So every time, well, not every time, most of the time when I sew, like the top part, you know, when it's sewing like this, the top part, the sewing is okay, but the bottom, like right here, it like when I start it, it always like jumbles up.
Yeah, the bobbin thread. Yeah, that's a common problem. Sometimes that happens if you're not using the same color thread
Okay.
on the top as you are on the bottom, or the same type. Sometimes the bobbin can be finicky. So
Oh,
the best thing to is check your tension. I would get a piece of scrap fabric
mhm.
and pop the scrap fabric in and adjust the tension a little. It should be, your tension should probably be mid.
Is tension, so which tension? There's length. Tension is like the, like how tight the bottom is held, right?
Yeah, let me go to my my sewing machine. Camera. Camera. So right here, there's a dial. I don't know if you can see it on one of these cameras.
Oh yeah, I see it on the iPhone.
Okay, so this dial is my tension. On this sewing machine, my stitch length and stitch length width is all over on this other side, but right here is the dial. Usually it's right there.
Yeah. So mine is,
So mine, I just moved mine over to 4. So like this area where there's like a bar, it's highlighted. That's like the mid range.
oh, okay.
Have mine like at 3.5, 4.
Okay. I have mine on the 3.
Maybe where is it?
Mine's at 3, and the 3, 1 and 2 doesn't have a box around it. 3, 4, 5 has a box around it.
5 has a box. I would move it up to like 4.
4, okay.
Yeah, and just play with that. Change your stitch length to like 3 and get a piece of scrap fabric and just do some lines and see if it gets a little better.
Okay. Okay.
And then what kind of thread are you using? Do you have the same color thread?
Yeah, it's the same one, but a lot of times I just grab whatever and just put it on the bottom. I just don't rethread or anything. Okay. Today I have the same one.
Yeah, but that's a common problem. A lot of people
Okay.
complain. It happens to me sometimes too. The bobbin gets finicky. Sometimes I can't even explain it, you know, and then it stops doing it. It goes away.
Yeah, yeah. But a lot, and then sometimes it jumbles up so badly, like I have to pull everything out.
Yeah, and that's just because of the tension. Like your sewing machine, it probably doesn't like the zipper tape. You know, there's zipper
Okay.
tape, and there's the lining fabric. There's all these different things going on, and the sewing machine gets a little finicky.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Carol, how are you doing? Did you trim those the tape?
think I'm okay as long as I didn't sew it wrong.
You're fine. I think if you just trim the tape and now it should match, and then just, you don't need to worry about it. Don't worry about it yet. When you get to the point where we're sewing that side, let me know and we'll make sure that you don't hit your metal.
Okay.
Well, I don't think you have metal. You probably have plastic. But sometimes the stoppers are metal though. The teeth are plastic, but the stoppers are metal. Sometimes. So the next step is after you've ironed and then you top stitch. So I finished top stitching the exterior along here to the zipper tape. So that's done. I'm finished with this side. Now I'm going to do the other side. So I lay my fabric like this. So my zipper's down here, fabric's here. Now I'm going to take the other side of my zipper and I'm just going to push it up, line it up to the edge of the fabric on the other side. And I'm going to take my lining and fold it and sandwich to this side. I'm doing the same thing. I'm just sandwiching it to the right side of the other side with the lining. And I'm going to pin the same way. And more pins is better.
So you fold the lining over. So right now you're looking at the back side of the lining.
No, so this is, so when I'm going to lay my zipper out, my box pouch out like this, and this is the right side of my exterior.
Okay.
So my right side is facing up like this. My zipper's down at the bottom.
Okay.
I'm going to take my zipper and I'm going to fold it up like this. And I'm going to take the other side of the tape and I'm going to match the edge of the tape with the edge of the fabric there at the top right here.
Okay.
And then you're going to take your lining and you're going to fold it up. And you're going to match the edge of the lining to the edge of the tape and the edge of the exterior fabric, just like you did on the other side, and pin it. So it's going to look like this. You're going to have two like tubes here.
But yeah, like a, okay, butterfly wings. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can't conceptually like see how this will end up. like the right side, what's right side, what's left side.
Yeah,
Wrong side.
that's good. It's a little tricky. I mean, when I was making it for the first time, I was like, how is this going to work out? It's kind of cool. It's sort of like geometry.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. So I'm going to work with my zipper pull down at the bottom again. It's just, that's the way I'm used to doing it and I'm comfortable that way. It's just easier to pin it into place and to sew it that way. Other people do it different. Everyone has their own technique nowadays of doing things. Okay, so I finished pinning. And now I'm going to go to the sewing machine again. And this time I'm going to sew, again, I start at the top and then I sew down. So my zipper pull is down at the bottom down here. I'm gonna start sewing up here at the top. And you guys, when you do this, I made a mistake. I'm gonna redo it. Pin the same way that you're gonna sew. So I'm gonna start sewing at the top. So that's where I want to start pinning. And the reason why I'm particular about that is because zippers move. That's why they can be so tricky. While you're sewing them, they move around. While you're pinning them, they move around. Okay, so now I'm done pinning and I'm going to go to the sewing machine and I'm just making sure that when I sew, I don't want the other side is in here. I'm going to kind of fold it out of the way. I'm going to sew right here down the side all the way to the end. And again, kind of funky. There's these two folds like this. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Again, it's about 1/4 of an inch from the edge because you have a 1/2 inch zipper tape. So you want to have a 1/4 inch showing and then 1/4 inch is getting sewn down. So this time I didn't even move my zipper full. I just sewed straight to the end and I didn't have to move it. So I'm going to turn it right side out and look at it. You just see how it came out. It looks pretty good. Some thread. So yeah, I didn't even need to move my zipper pull. I was able to just sew right off the edge. You might be able to squeeze by and do that too. Now I'm going to go to the ironing board and iron it out. So this was where it gets a little tricky because now we have this funky tube. So we've got this tube going on here and we have to do that top stitch. And I'm going to show you how to do that. It's a little challenging. I'm sorry, we've got new zipper sewers, Linda and Shoig. You guys haven't sewn zippers before and you've got kind of a challenging, so be patient with yourself.
That's fine. I'm learning, Amy. I'm learning.
So I'm going to iron now. That. So again, you want to just open up that little seam allowance where your lining and the zipper tape is, and it'll just be so much easier to do the top stitch and fold back the lining. So because we have these tricky little folds, you just kind of have to get it wiggled in there. So now I'm going to iron from, turn it right side out and iron from the right side. I'm going inside the tunnel. I'm just trying to get the end. So you just kind of have to work it out, open up the zipper and figure out the best way that you're iron in there. But it is possible. So from one end you can get so far, and then from the other end you can get that last bit. So the next step is to do the top stitch. So I just want to iron one more time. I want to iron the exterior fabric and the lining all down in one. If you have, this is a sleeve edge, it's perfect for things like this. It's so much easier to iron. So I'm going to turn it inside out again because it's easier to sew my top stitch. I'm going to top stitch on this side right here along the edge. Yeah. So you turn it.
That's what I
into-
forgot to do this top stitch the first time on the first round.
Oh, on the first side.
Yeah.
So on this first side, it's pretty straightforward. It's just like we've done in the past. The second side though is a little tricky. So you got to turn it inside out and sew on the inside like this, starting here. In.
Yeah, I think I need to do it for both because I forgot to do it the other way. Before I turned it.
Oh, you forgot to do it before you.
Yeah,
Uh-oh. Oh, well, it's doable.
it's doable.
So I need to switch my zipper foot, so it's on the other side. And I want to make sure that I'm stitching the same distance from the edge of the zipper tape on the one side, about 1/8 of an inch. I want to do the same thing on this side so it looks consistent and looks professional. And while you're doing it, just make sure that your lining is not bunching up and getting up there next to your teeth, the zipper teeth. So you just want to make sure it's staying folded back. So I'm going to go as far as I can go up to the zipper hole. And then I'm going to take my needle out. I'm going to turn around and go to the other side. Because I can only get so far. Now I have to sew inside the tunnel like this, starting at the bottom. Switch my channel and zipper foot, and sew from this direction. But hopefully, you sewed as far as you can go. You should only have just like 1.5 inches that you need to sew this direction. And I'm just going to connect that line. So that was not hard at all. So the zipper is done. Once you finish that, and then the next step is getting the tabs prepared. Get all my loose threads off. I'm just going to stitch a little bit further. I didn't go all the way to the end, just in case it shows. Didn't go all the way off the back of the fabric far enough. There we go.
I think I screwed up somewhere with the zipper.
Uh-oh. Show me what you have.
I mean, it ends up being okay, I think, but this was supposed to be my inside liner. I mean, this is supposed to be my outside.
That's your
And this is
outside.
my, and this is my inside.
Oh, you put your
Yes.
zipper the wrong way?
I put the zipper the wrong way because now this is the outside.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that when you place your zipper is face down. Remember I said face down?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the right side of your fabric's up, and then you place the zipper face down, and then you put the right side of the lining on top. That way, when you open it up, the zipper's going the right direction.
Yeah. So must have had it face up because now the outside is the inside.
Have you already sewn it all in, it looks like?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Carol. I'm so sorry you had that super cool geometric
I know. I love the way it looks on the
outside.
outside.
Just take it out. Just take it out. You haven't top stitched it yet, right?
I haven't top stitched anything.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, when I made the sample, I screwed up on the zipper and I had to rip it out. And I had already top stitched it.
So it sounds like I did it correctly. It's just that when I placed it, I should have placed the zipper upside down. I placed it right side up. Because it was the liner. No, it was the outer on the bottom, the zipper, and then the liner on top, right?
Right. So just always check yourself too. So before you sew, open it up. And when you open it up, because you pinned it, before you sew, open it up and look and make sure that the zipper pull is on the side where the exterior fabric is.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's another thing I always check.
Yeah.
Sometimes everyone makes that mistake, So yeah, when you want the zipper to be face down
Mm-hmm. Okay.
when you lay it on top of that exterior fabric. The zipper pull is face down.
Got it.
I remember that's
sorry.
what I did with the phone, the very first one, the phone pouch that I made with you like last year, whatever. I did that. Everything was inside out.
Oh, now I feel like I'm a bad teacher. I didn't
No, it's all experience.
explain
It's
it well
all
enough.
experience, so you remember.
Yeah, I mean, Carol, it's up to you if you want to just go with the other side because the other fabric's cute too. Or if you want to rip it out and redo it. I'm sure.
I think I'll do that because I didn't do the top stitch the first time, and it's kind of harder to do the top stitch now.
Yeah, it's easier to do the top stitch when you well, it's not that much. I just did it right now. It's not that hard. It's a little bit easier, but it's not hard.
Okay.
So, yeah, so just always remember, I mean, if you watch the video again, I definitely said it. I think I said it. And then,
No, you did. I just missed it.
I'm giving you a step-by-step instructions too.
Oh, even better. Yeah, cool.
But place the zipper front side down is what I said.
Mm-hmm.
So, and centered on the right side up of the exterior piece. Place the lining piece on top of it, right sides together. So maybe I'll highlight that.
Yes, please.
Yeah, but I forget too. If you don't sew zippers every day all the time, you'll forget.
Yeah, I forget to do this. Like I've done it before, but I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
How you lay it out.
Oh yeah, of course. I forget too. I have to go back and double check. But that's why it's always good to just look. Try to look before you sew. Sometimes. My fabric's a little bit weird here. You can see hanging off. So my fabric moved when I was sewing. So I'm going to fix that. We have a few minutes left. I can start prepping the tabs with you guys. Linda, where are you?
I've broken 2 needles so far, so I'm trying to figure out why I keep breaking needles.
Oh, you broke your needle?
Yeah, twice now. I think something's stuck in there.
All right, and the bobbin's doing the weirdness, right?
Yeah, yeah, so I think something down, so I have to fix that. But yeah, I'm just top stitching the last part. That's it.
Yeah, you've got some sort of thing going on. That sucks. So the needle broke. Just take out the bobbin. Another thing is taking out the bobbin and make sure it's laying correctly
Okay.
in the machine.
Mm-hmm.
So when I start having those issues and I've broken a needle, I rethread my machine.
Okay.
I pop out the bobbin and I put the bobbin in again. And then I take a scratched piece of fabric and I sew and I sew and I back stitch and keep tweaking it until it kind of
Yeah.
starts to sound right and feel right.
I don't know what happened. Oh, well.
Did you get both sides of your zipper sewn?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So I'm just doing the top stitch now.
Oh, you haven't done any of the top stitches yet?
No, just that one last side.
Just the one. So you have one
Yeah.
more top stitch to do.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the last one. I finished ironing.
Okay,
So-
perfect. Okay. Cute. Love it.
I'm also excited.
um okay, I know Carol's working, Linda's working. I'm going to go ahead and just demo how to start the tab before we leave, so you guys can work on that if you want. So by next week, try to have your zipper sewn in. If you're struggling and you want to wait until you see me again, that's fine too. Again, you don't have to have the zipper in, but it'd be nice if you did. It should look like this. You should have this like tube. It kind of looks like a Kleenex case. So I'm going to put that aside and I'm going to grab the 3x3 pieces. So these are pretty easy. What you're going to do is you're going to iron it in half, iron both of them in half. Right, wrong sides together. So you want to iron them in half, wrong sides together. And then on that half, this is my little guideline. I'm going to fold each, I'm opening it up. I'm going to fold each edge in to the center. Like this, folding those ends into the center so they're touching each other. And you can give it a press. And then you're going to fold them on top of each other like this. So it's like a little sandwich. Just like our bias tape. If you guys have, a lot of you guys have worked with bias tape with me, it's folded this way, similar. So it's folded in like that. So these two edges here are finished now. And then we're going to sew it. We're going to sew all the way around it to make the little tab. Because then after you sew around it, then you fold it like this. And it makes this cute tab. So I'm just going to pin it because I'm not ready to sew it yet. I'm going to do my other one. Again, I'm folding these edges into the center. So they're matching, they're touching each other. And then I'm folding in half again, so the two folds match. And now I'm going to go to the sewing machine. So I'm going to start, I guess I'll start right here with my needle and I'll sew up to here, pivot, sew across, and then sew down to the end. I'm not going to sew across the bottom here. I don't need to. So I'm just going to sew up, down, and in. I'm just going to have a little eighth of an inch seam allowance. So it looks like this. You can see the stitch lines on here on the edge. This one shows up pretty well. So I'm just stitching right along the edge here. And I'm going to pause the recording while I do that. So here are my tabs, and they're just going to be folded like this. And we're going to insert them into the sides here of the pouch. So next week when we work with it, it's going to be, we're going to work with it from the other side. We're going to turn this inside out. And we're going to insert the tabs. And then we'll do, we'll sew up the edge and we'll do the corners. Let me get this turned out. You guys missed that wallet that we did. That was intense.
Was that really hard?
Maria did that with me. Yeah, it was a lot of little steps and a lot of little pieces. And the thing, it was tricky because you needed the quilting foot because it was so thick, all the layers. So that was like the tricky part, but yeah, it came out nice.
Maybe you can do that when it opens up again, like in person.
Yeah,
That would be a good one for in person.
it would, because we have those quilting foots at the library. Yeah. Yeah, I would love to teach it again. It'd be nice to teach something again because, you know, the more I do it, the more I get the tweaks out of it. And so it gets better and better. Yeah, so next week we will work with the pouch. You'll turn it inside out like this, and we'll fold these tabs in half and they go inside, and you line them up on that seam. There's the seam right here that we sewed for the exterior piece, and I'll line it up like that and just sew it over it into place. So this is where it gets kind of thick. So I didn't use my quilting foot, but and I did fine. So, and then after we tag, we're gonna just sort of do a little basting stitch with the sewing machine to this. Then we're gonna pin and we're gonna sew this side across. So Carol, this is where you have to be watching where your stopper or your teeth end, because we're gonna sew right across here. So you'll just watch where your stopper is and you're just going to sew on the other side of it. So it won't.
You don't sew over it. You basically sew around it, right?
You just sew right next to it. So right here is my stopper. My sewing machine's just going to go, my needle's going to go right there straight across.
Okay.
You'll use your zipper foot and it'll just go boom right across. I don't even think you need your zipper foot. You can just use
And you know, when you do your basting stitch, you're basically just making the stitch length longer, right? Is that the basting stitch?
Oh, you know, I'm not going to use any sort of basting stitch. I'm just going to sew right here. I'm just going to sew.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But I'm calling it a basting because we're just basting it in place so it doesn't move.
Okay. But usually when you do a basting stitch, it's just a length, right?
It's long. Yeah, a long stitch that you're going to actually, it's going to be taken out. It'll be taken out at some point or just be rendered non-existent.
Got it.
So then when you sew this side where your pole is, you can just move your pole. You can move it down like that. And then you can just sew right next to where your stopper is right here. Your needle will go right next to it like that. So, but we'll do that next week. And I hope you guys enjoyed today. I'm going to stop recording.